Michael Jackson's accusers have faced down countless criticism since before the Leaving Neverland documentary aired, and with new evidence emerging, James Safechuck and Wade Robson's stories are now being scrutinized for any inconsistencies. While the late king of pop was acquitted of several counts of child sexual abuse at his trial in 2005, he was dogged by sordid speculation and allegations of molestation, grooming and rape for the rest of his life, and for the last 10 years since his death. Jackson's supporters have been combing through Robson and Safechuck's claims, and believe they've found several things that don't add up. Here's a look at some of them. Leaving Neverland director makes U-turn on Michael Jackson claims Robson's original testimony. Wade alleges he was targeted by Michael when he was just a child, but testified on his behalf in 2005. Image, publicity picture. Wade was called as a witness for Jackson in his 2005 child sex trial, and testified on behalf of the singer. At the time, Wade said under oath that Jackson had never abused him. He told the court that while he'd slept in the Thriller star's bedroom at the Neverland Ranch on several occasions, Jackson had never touched him inappropriately. Even after Jackson's death in 2009, Wade was still full of praise for his friend. His music, his movement, his personal words of inspiration and encouragement, and his unconditional love will live inside of me forever, he said in tribute. Leaving Neverland director Dan Reed has defended Wade's changing story. Image, Metal, ITV, Rex, Shuttershock. However, Wade's story changed in 2013 after a failed book deal and being turned down for a job in a Jackson-themed Cirque du Soleil production. He attempted to sue the Jackson estate for more than $1 billion, claiming his previous denial of abuse under oath was due to Michael's complete manipulation and brainwashing. Wade also claimed two breakdowns and becoming a father had prompted him to speak up about the alleged abuse he went through between the ages of 7 and 14. When Jackson's supporters brought up Robson's changing story, Leaving Neverland director Dan Reed dismissed speculation that Wade had lied, saying his testimony in 2005 was due to Wade's devotion to his idol. What is the other side of the story? That Michael Jackson was a great entertainer and a great guy, Reed added. Robson's mom's evidence about the Grand Canyon trip. Jackson was acquitted of several counts of child molestation in 2005. Image, AFP, Getty Images. Journalist and Michael Jackson's biographer Mike Smallcombe has spent years searching through the archives. He believes testimony from Wade's mother Joy Robson in 1993 contradicts some of Wade's allegations in the documentary. Speaking to Mirror Online, Mike said, in the documentary, Wade Robson described how he and his then 10-year-old sister stayed in Jackson's bedroom the first 2 nights they were ever at Neverland in January 1990. Wade then claimed that his family left to go to the Grand Canyon, while he stayed behind with Jackson alone at Neverland for the next 5 days. Wade claimed it was then when he was first abused by Jackson, going into graphic detail about what had allegedly happened over the course of several nights. Mr. Smallcombe pointed to Joy's testimony in the Jody Chandler civil case against Jackson in the early 1990s. Jackson with the Robson family in 1990. Image, Wade Robson Archive, Amos Pictures. The Jackal biographer continued, his mother, Joy Robson, testified under oath in a deposition in 1993-1994 in relation to the Jody Chandler case that Wade had actually gone with them on that trip to the Grand Canyon, before the entire family returned to Neverland for the second time the following weekend. Joy Robson had no reason to lie about this. She openly admitted that Wade stayed with Jackson alone on other occasions. She could have said, Wade stayed behind with Michael when we went away to the Grand Canyon between weekends, it wouldn't have made a difference. To confirm this, later on, she revealed that the first time Wade stayed alone with Jackson at the ranch without her was actually in 1993. She said, my son has never been to the ranch without me up until this year, 1993. Wade also testified that the only time he had been at Neverland without his mother was sometime in 1992 or 1993, when Macaulay Culkin and Jody Chandler were also there. Mr. Smallcombe continued, when giving evidence and asked if his sister had stayed in the bed with him the entire time they were at Neverland on that first trip, Wade answered, yes. meaning he never stayed alone with Jackson during that trip. James and Wade smirking at each other. Wade and James on stage at the Sundance Festival. Image, the author Scottum. YouTube superfans claim they smirked at each other. Image, the author Scottum. YouTube superfans were convinced the two accusers weren't being honest when footage emerged of them appearing to smirk at each other on stage at AQ. Michael Jackson estate statement to Leaving Neverland in full. Wade meeting Jackson for the first time. Jackson with James Safechuck in 1988. Image, Eugene Atterbury. Rex Shuttershock. Jackson's family, who still control the millions of dollars in his estate, reacted to the documentary in fury. Here is what they said in a statement about Wade and James's allegations. Leaving Neverland isn't a documentary, it is the kind of tabloid character assassination Michael Jackson endured in life, and now in death. The film takes uncorroborated allegations that supposedly happened 20 years ago and treats them as fact. These claims were the basis of lawsuits filed by these two admitted liars, which were ultimately dismissed by a judge. The two accusers testified under oath that these events never occurred. They have provided no independent evidence and absolutely no proof in support of their accusations, which means the entire film hinges solely on the word of two perjurers. The Jackson estate has branded the allegations lies to make money off Michael's legacy. Image, Channel 4. Tellingly, the director admitted at the Sundance Film Festival that he limited his interviews only to these accusers and their families. In doing so, he intentionally avoided interviewing numerous people over the years who spent significant time with Michael Jackson and have unambiguously stated that he treated children with respect and did nothing hurtful to them. By choosing not to include any of these independent voices who might challenge the narrative that he was determined to sell, the director neglected fact-checking so he could craft a narrative so blatantly one-sided that viewers never get anything close to a balanced portrait. For 20 years, Wade Robson denied in court and in numerous interviews, including after Michael passed, that he was a victim and stated he was grateful for everything Michael had done for him. His family benefited from Michael's kindness, generosity and career support up until Michael's death. Jackson with Wade when he was 9. Image, when Michael Jackson, Liza Minnelli and James Safechuck. Image, Getty. Conveniently left out of Leaving Neverland was the fact that when Robson was denied a role in a Michael Jackson-themed Cirque du Soleil production, his assault allegations suddenly emerged. We are extremely sympathetic to any legitimate victim of child abuse. This film, however, does those victims a disservice. Because despite all the disingenuous denials made that this is not about money, it has always been about money, millions of dollars, dating back to 2013 when both Wade Robson and James Safechuck, who share the same law firm, launched their unsuccessful claims against Michael's estate. Now that Michael is no longer here to defend himself, Robson, Safechuck and their lawyers continue their efforts to achieve notoriety and a payday by smearing him with the same allegations a jury found him innocent of when he was alive. How to watch Who's Wade Robson? First trailer. Sick child wedding.